I still can't believe it, I said, holding Emily's hand as we sat in the small cafe where we had our first date. You actually said yes. You're officially stuck with me. She laughed softly, brushing her hair behind her ear. I didn't just say yes. I meant it. You're everything I've ever wanted. Careful, I teased. If you say that too often, Ryan's going to tell me I'm bragging again. She smiled but didn't answer right away. I noticed her fingers tracing the engagement ring. I leaned closer. Do you like it? I love it, she whispered. It feels heavy, though, like it's carrying everything we've been through. Good, I said, squeezing her hand, because it's not just a ring. It's a promise. No matter what happens, I'm here. That night, I walked her home and headed back to my parents' house. Ryan was already waiting on the porch, a beer in his hand, grinning like he'd just won a bet. Look at you, he said, clapping me on the back. My big brother finally tying the knot. About time. Jealous? I asked. Hell yeah. Emily's gorgeous. You got lucky, man. She chose me, Ryan. Luck had nothing to do with it. He laughed. True, still, don't let it get to your head. People who brag about perfect lives usually end up crying into their pillows. I smirked but didn't take him seriously. Ryan always had a sharp tongue. Don't worry. I'm not stupid enough to mess this up. The next evening we had dinner at my parents' house. Mom was glowing as she set the table, her eyes shining at Emily. You're like the daughter I always wanted, she said. I can't wait for the wedding. Emily smiled politely. I can't wait either. Your family feels like home already. Dad raised his glass. To new beginnings, to love, and to the strength of family. I lifted mine proudly, catching Ryan's smirk from across the table. I ignored it. Nothing could ruin this night for me. Later, Daniel dropped by. He slapped me on the shoulder as soon as I opened the door. Man, when are you going to stop making the rest of us look bad? I laughed. When you find someone who actually puts up with you. Fair point, he said, then glanced at Emily's ring. Damn, that's beautiful. Must have cost a fortune. It wasn't about money, I said quickly. I just wanted her to have something that carried weight, something she'd never take off. Emily held her hand out proudly. It's perfect. He made me feel like I was the only woman in the world when he gave it to me. Daniel chuckled. Careful, or I'll start thinking true love still exists. I grinned, though inside I felt a strange ache. Why did everyone act surprised that we were happy? Was it really that rare? Later, when Emily left and the house grew quiet, Ryan cornered me in the kitchen. You know, he said casually, women like her don't just fall for guys like you. I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? He smirked. Relax, I'm just saying you'd better hold on tight. People want what looks perfect. Emily isn't people, I said firmly. She's mine, he raised his hands. All right. Don't get so defensive. I'm happy for you, honestly. But his grin lingered even as he walked away. I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, turning his words over in my head. Why would he say something like that? Maybe it was just Ryan being Ryan, sarcastic, reckless, always poking where it hurt. Still, I pushed the thought away. Emily loved me. I felt it in every laugh, every kiss, every time she whispered my name like it was a secret she wanted to keep forever. She wasn't the type to wander. The next weekend, Emily and I went ring shopping for our wedding bands. She held my arm tightly, her voice sweet. Do you ever think about the future? She asked. All the time, I said. A house, maybe kids, holidays together, growing old with you? She smiled faintly. That sounds perfect. It will be, I promised. We'll build it brick by brick. No shortcuts, no lies, she squeezed my hand. I trust you. Hearing her say that made my chest swell with pride. Trust. That was everything to me. When we left the store, Daniel called. So you're really doing this, huh? Yeah, I said. This is it. Good, he replied. Just don't forget that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. I laughed. What's with you and the cryptic warnings lately? Just being honest. People envy what they don't have. I brushed it off with a joke, but something in his tone stayed with me. Between Ryan's smirk and Daniel's warning, it felt like shadows were creeping into my perfect life. Still, as I watched Emily slip her arm through mine and lean her head on my shoulder, I pushed it all aside. I had her. I had everything, or at least that's what I told myself. Hey, are you free tonight? I asked Emily over the phone as I left the office. I was thinking we could grab dinner, just the two of us. There was a pause before she answered. I'm actually really tired. Work drained me today. Rain check? Of course, I said quickly. Rest up. I'll bring you something if you want. No, it's fine. Just good night, okay? Good night, I whispered, but the line clicked before I finished. I stood there staring at my phone. Emily had never been one to cut calls short. Maybe she was just tired. That's what I told myself. The next day at lunch, Daniel slid into the booth across from me. You look like you didn't sleep. Trouble in paradise? I chuckled, forcing a smile. Nothing like that. Emily's just busy. You know how it is, he leaned in. Busy or avoiding you? I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, he said, shrugging. It's just, she's canceled on you 3 times this week, right? Twice, I corrected sharply. And she explained both times. She's stressed, that's all. Daniel raised his eyebrows. All right, man. I'm just saying, keep your eyes open. Sometimes people aren't who we think they are. You sound paranoid, I said, laughing. Emily's not like that. She loves me, he sighed. I hope you're right. That evening, I went to my parents for dinner. Ryan was already there, leaning against the counter, chatting with Emily while Mom cooked. They both laughed at something, then stopped abruptly when I walked in. What's so funny? I asked, setting my jacket down. Nothing, Emily said quickly. Just a joke about work, Ryan grinned. Yeah, nothing you'd get, big brother. I narrowed my eyes. Try me. Nah, he said, patting my shoulder. Inside joke. Emily smiled faintly, avoiding my gaze. I told myself not to overthink it. Families joke. People laugh. It didn't mean anything. Still, I caught the flicker of guilt in her eyes before she looked away. Later that night, I confronted her as we walked to the car. So, you and Ryan seem to be laughing a lot lately, she stiffened. Are you jealous? I didn't say that. I just asked. He's your brother, she said flatly. Isn't it normal to get along with family? Of course it is, I stopped, shaking my head. Forget it, she crossed her arms. You don't trust me? I do, I said quickly. I trust you more than anyone. I just don't like being left out, her expression softened. Then don't make this into something it's not. I won't, I promised, forcing a smile. But the feeling didn't leave me. At work, I caught myself checking my phone every hour, waiting for her texts. When she finally sent one, it was short. Can't talk, busy. That evening, Daniel called. How's Emily? She's fine, I answered too quickly. Still canceling on you? She's busy, man. Why do you keep bringing this up? Because I've seen this before, he said firmly. When people start pulling away, there's usually a reason, I snapped. Not everyone cheats, Daniel. He went quiet. I didn't say she was cheating. I just said, something feels off, I sighed, rubbing my face. Look, I love her. I'm not going to doubt her every time she says she's tired. Just don't blind yourself, he said softly. That weekend, Emily canceled again. I promised my coworker I'd help with a project, she said over the phone. On a Saturday night? I asked. Yes. Deadlines don't care about weekends. I wanted to argue, but I forced myself to stay calm. Okay, do what you have to do. I'll be here when you're free. Thank you for understanding, she said quickly, almost too quickly before hanging up. I sat in silence, staring at the ring box on my dresser. Trust, I whispered to myself. Love is built on trust, but deep inside I felt a crack forming, faint but sharp, like glass about to shatter. I left the office earlier than usual, clutching a small bag with Emily's favorite dessert. I couldn't wait to see the surprise on her face. When I pulled up outside her apartment, the lights were on. I smiled, imagining her curled up on the couch. I didn't knock, I wanted it to feel spontaneous, but the second I opened the door, the world ended. Emily was on the couch. Ryan's arm was around her waist. Her lips were pressed against his. The ring I'd given her glinted under the lamp, mocking me. The bag slipped from my hand. They jerked apart instantly. Emily's eyes widened. Oh my God, Ryan stood quickly. It's not what it looks like. My chest burned. My legs felt like they couldn't move. Not what it looks like? My voice cracked. You were kissing my fiancé. Emily covered her mouth, tears brimming. I didn't mean, you didn't mean? I shouted. Emily, that's my brother. Ryan reached for me. Calm down, let me explain. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Don't you dare. The silence rang louder than any sound. My breathing was ragged. My hands shook as if I couldn't control them. Say something, I demanded, staring at Emily. She trembled. You weren't there for me. You were always busy, always distracted. Ryan, he was? The words stabbed deeper than any blade. You're blaming me? Her lips quivered. I needed comfort. He gave it to me, Ryan muttered under his breath. It just happened. I laughed bitterly. It just happened? You don't just happen into kissing my fiancée with the ring still on her finger, Emily sobbed. I still love you. Stop! I snapped. Don't say that. You don't get to say you love me after this. Ryan's jaw tightened. I didn't plan this, man. I swear. I turned on him, my eyes burning. You've always been jealous. Every damn time I build something, you try to take it. And now, you took her! He flinched but didn't argue. I faced Emily again. My throat felt raw, my heart pounding like it wanted out of my chest. 3 years, Emily, 3 years I gave you everything. My time, my trust, my future, and you throw it away. With him? She cried harder. I'm sorry. Sorry? I whispered. Do you even know what that word means? Her hands trembled as she reached for me. Please, please listen. I yanked my arm back. No, I listened to you every day. I trusted every word you spoke. And tonight, I walk in to see you tearing my world apart. Ryan tried again. We didn't mean for this. You didn't mean? I shouted, my voice echoing off the walls. Do you think that makes it better? Do you think that excuses this? He looked down, guilt etched into his face. I couldn't breathe. I pressed a hand to my chest, but the weight wouldn't lift. My own brother, I whispered. The one person I thought I could count on. And you. My eyes went back to Emily. The woman I thought I'd marry. She sobbed, collapsing onto the couch. I was weak. I didn't know how to stop it. You could have told me, I said, my voice shaking. You could have been honest. But you lied every time you said you loved me. I did love you. She cried. Then why am I standing here feeling like I've been stabbed in the back? She buried her face in her hands. I turned to Ryan again. Do you feel proud? Does this make you feel like a man? Stealing what was mine? His voice was low. I didn't steal her. She chose me. The words shattered whatever was left of me. My chest felt hollow, like everything inside had been ripped out. I staggered back toward the door. You both deserve each other. Emily shot up, rushing toward me. Wait, don't go. Please, let's talk this out. I stopped with my hand on the doorknob, my back to her. Talk? What's left to say? You kissed my brother, Emily. You killed everything. She clutched my arm desperately. Don't leave me. I'll fix this. I ripped my arm free. You can't fix betrayal. Ryan finally spoke again. If you hate someone, hate me. Don't take it all out on her. I spun on him, fury flooding through me. Don't act like you're noble. You wanted this as much as she did. You betrayed me, Ryan, and nothing will ever change that. He looked away, silent. I opened the door. Cold air rushed inside, but it couldn't numb the fire tearing me apart. I glanced at Emily one last time. Her tears streaked her face, the ring glinting on her hand like a cruel joke. My voice broke as I whispered, that ring was supposed to mean forever. Now it means nothing. And then I walked out, leaving the two people I trusted most behind me, along with the shattered pieces of the life I thought I had. I locked my door and shut the curtains. The world outside kept moving, but inside my room time froze. My chest burned like someone had carved me open and left me hollow. Daniel's knock broke the silence. Open up, man! I know you're in there. I dragged myself to the door, hesitated, then cracked it open. He stepped in and stared at me. Jesus, you look like hell! I feel worse, I muttered. He glanced at the mess. Empty bottles, clothes scattered on the floor. So you're just gonna rot in here? What else should I do? My voice cracked. The woman I loved kissed my brother with the ring I gave her on her hand. Tell me how to breathe after that. Daniel shook his head. You don't breathe for them. You breathe for you. I sat on the bed, pressing my palms to my face. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. I hear Emily's voice saying Ryan was there for her when I wasn't. I hear him saying, it just happened. It kills me, Daniel. Over and over. He crouched down so I had to meet his eyes. You're letting them win every time you replay it. I don't care who wins. I lost everything. No, he said firmly. You lost two people who never deserved you in the first place. That's not everything. That's poison leaving your system, I gave a bitter laugh. Poison? It feels more like fire eating me alive. Good, he shot back. Let it burn. But don't let it end you. Use it, I stared at him, confused. Use it for what? Revenge? He shrugged. Revenge, survival, whatever keeps you standing. Just don't waste your tears on them. They're not worth it. Silence hung heavy. My hands trembled as I reached for the drawer beside me. Daniel watched quietly. I pulled it open, and there it was, the ring. The one I'd chosen after weeks of saving, of imagining forever. It glittered under the dim light, mocking me. Daniel frowned. Why do you still have that? I held it up, my fingers shaking. Because this was supposed to mean something. It was supposed to be love, trust, family. Now it's nothing but ashes. He leaned closer. Then make it mean something else. Don't let it stay a symbol of what they did. Let it be the start of what you'll do. His words struck me harder than I wanted to admit. I looked down at the ring again. For days I'd drowned in rage, sorrow, humiliation. I'd starved myself of sleep, of food, of hope. But as Daniel spoke, something shifted. I whispered almost to myself, I can't let them destroy me. Daniel's lips curved into the faintest smile. Now you're talking. I thought Emily was my future, I said bitterly. I thought Ryan was my brother, my blood. Now I see them laughing outside, acting like nothing happened. Like I'm the fool left behind. Let them laugh, Daniel said. One day that laugh will choke them. I clenched the ring in my fist so tightly it cut into my skin. Pain pulsed through my palm, sharp and real. For the first time in days, the pain felt like fuel, not ruin. Daniel stood and placed a hand on my shoulder. Promise me you won't waste away in this room. You deserve more than ashes, I nodded slowly. I promise. But I won't forgive them. Not now, not ever. You don't have to, he replied. Just don't let them decide who you become. As he left, I sat in the silence, the ring pressing into my palm. The rage didn't vanish. The sorrow didn't fade. But something new sparked beneath the ruins, an idea, a vow. I placed the ring back in the drawer, not as a token of love, but as a reminder. Every time I saw it, I would remember what they took from me, and what I would build from the ashes. For the first time since that night, I whispered words that didn't taste of despair. They will not destroy me. I stopped answering Ryan's texts. I stopped showing up for his calls. I started taking long walks at night, and staying at Daniel's place more often. The silence was my shield. Everything okay? Daniel asked the first night I crashed on his couch. No, I said, but I'm pretending. It's easier that way, he studied me. Pretend how? Like nothing happened? Exactly that, I shrugged. Let them think I'm broken. Let them think they won. It'll hurt less when I hit back, Daniel's mouth thinned. That sounds dangerous. You sure you want to play at being indifferent? I don't want to shout and beg. I don't want to clean up this mess in front of them. I touched the scar at my chest that wasn't there physically, but burned like it was. I want a plan. He laughed softly. Plan what? A revenge movie? Because I don't know if you're the leading man in that genre. I'm not after theatrics, I said. I want a quiet end. How quiet? He asked. As quiet as giving them what they deserve and watching them crumble without me making a scene. He shook his head. You mean psychological warfare? Call it whatever you want. I checked my phone. No messages from Emily. You know anything about Ryan's past? Anything that could help? Daniel hesitated, then leaned forward. Yeah, there's something you should know. He did the same to Claire. Dumped her, left her when rumors started, moved on like nothing happened. Claire? I echoed. The one he dated before he ever started dating around. He broke her heart. She didn't just get hurt. He ruined her reputation by lying about her. She disappeared for a while after that. I felt cold. Why didn't I know this? Because he kept it quiet. He's good at keeping secrets. Daniel tapped the table. Claire never talked about it, not to us. But I ran into her a month ago. She's not okay then. She's not the kind to publicly call him out. But she did tell me enough to know he's done this before. My mind started racing, piecing together moments I'd missed. Little lies, awkward glances, the way Ryan never liked when I showed off our relationship. So he has a history. He does, Daniel said. And he's arrogant enough to think he can do it again. A plan formed like a shadow taking shape. If he took her before, then he's a repeat offender. He deserves to be exposed, Daniel frowned. You want to expose him? No, I stopped him. I want something else. If he's careless with women, if he leaves a trail of broken hearts, then maybe karma can be literal. Maybe the same ring I gave Emily could be used to remind him of what he did. You mean give Emily the ring back? Daniel asked slowly. I mean give it to her at the family dinner next week. Let her wear it when we all toast. Let Ryan see my ring on her hand again. But not as a promise, more like a mirror. A mirror that shows him he's repeating himself, he blinked. That's twisted. Maybe. My voice was steady. But he's the one who started this. He stole what was mine. Daniel rubbed his face. And what about Claire? She could help, I said. She's the proof. If she speaks, if she shows how he treated her, people won't just think this is a messy lover's fight. He looked away. You sure you want to drag Claire back into this? She's already part of it, I replied. Not against her will, but she's connected. She's a living example. If we do this quietly, we can make sure Ryan feels fall without turning into the villain we all fear becoming. Daniel was quiet for a long time. Then he sighed. You've thought this through. I needed something to hold on to, I said. Not just anger, but a path. You're not the same man I met before, he said softly. But then you don't have to be. Just don't lose yourself in the plan. I won't, I promised. I'll be careful. No yelling, no threats. Just truth. And what if Emily refuses? He asked. Then she reveals herself, I said. Either way, the truth comes out, he nodded. Okay, quietly. But you're responsible for how far this goes. I stared at the ring in my hand, feeling its weight differently now. I'll turn pain into an instrument. You do that and I'll stand by you, Daniel said. But remember, this isn't about revenge alone. It's about taking back your life. I slipped the ring into my pocket and felt something like purpose pulse through me. The silence around me wasn't emptiness anymore. It was preparation. Tomorrow, I said, looking at him. I'll talk to Claire. Daniel set it up for me. A small cafe, quiet enough to talk without interruptions. I sat by the window, the ring heavy in my pocket, waiting. My chest tightened when I saw her walk in. Long brown hair, tired eyes, but a kind of strength in her posture that I couldn't miss. Claire? I stood as she reached the table. She nodded. You're Michael. Yes, I gestured for her to sit. Thank you for meeting me. She studied me for a second before lowering herself into the chair. Daniel said it's about Ryan. I let out a breath. It is, and Emily, her jaw tightened. I figured. I slid the ring onto the table between us. This was hers, until I walked in and saw her with him. Claire's eyes widened. She touched the ring with trembling fingers. The same kind of lies. The same patterns. You know them too well, I said softly. She swallowed. He promised me everything. He made me believe I was the only one who mattered. Then he disappeared, leaving me to deal with whispers he'd spread. I lost friends. I lost myself. Her words were sharp, each one cutting something raw inside me. That's what he does. He destroyed you. He's trying to do the same to me. Tears gathered in her eyes, though she blinked them back. When Daniel told me about you, I didn't want to come. I thought it would open wounds I'd buried. I'm sorry, I whispered. I wouldn't drag you into this if I didn't believe it mattered. I need you, not to hurt him, but to show people who he really is. She exhaled shakily, still staring at the ring. Why the ring? It's the symbol, I said. He stole Emily with it still on her hand. If I give it back to her in front of everyone, with you there to speak, he'll see himself reflected. His lies, his betrayals, they'll corner him. Claire's lips pressed together. For a moment she said nothing, only tracing the metal with her thumb. Finally, she whispered, I thought I'd never face him again. But maybe I need to. Not out of hate, I said. Not for me. For yourself, closure, she met my eyes. Closure, she repeated. Do you think it's possible? After everything he's done? I leaned forward. If not now, when? He'll keep doing this unless someone stops him. You survived him once. You're stronger now. I can see it, she let out a small, bitter laugh. Stronger doesn't mean healed. No, I agreed. But it means you're still here. That matters more than he ever will. Her tears finally fell, quiet and steady. She wiped them quickly, refusing to look away. I want him to face the truth. Not because I hate him, but because I want the part of me he broke back. I nodded. Then we do this together. She breathed deeply, as if steadying herself. I'll stand by you. But promise me one thing. What? Don't let revenge consume you. It nearly consumed me when he left. I don't want that for you. Her words struck deep, heavier than I expected. I clenched my fists under the table. I'll try. I don't want to live as a shadow of him. Good, she said softly. Then maybe we both walk away stronger. Silence fell between us, not empty but full, two broken pieces finding the courage to stand. She pushed the ring back toward me. Keep it, she said. When the time comes, use it. But remember, it's not just his downfall, it's our release. I closed my hand around the ring, feeling its cold edge bite into my palm. Thank you, Claire. For what? For reminding me I'm not the only one he tried to ruin. Her gaze softened. And thank you for giving me a chance to finally stop running. I nodded, the plan taking clearer shape in my mind. Ryan thought he could shatter us both and walk away untouched. But this time he wouldn't. This time he'd see everything he broke staring right back at him. The night of the family dinner, I walked into my parents' house wearing a calm face I didn't feel. My chest burned, but I buried it under a smile. Michael, my mother exclaimed, rushing to hug me. I'm so glad you came. I wouldn't miss it, I said smoothly. It's family, after all. My father clapped my shoulder. Good to see you, son. You've been quiet lately. Work, I replied. And processing. He gave me a knowing nod, but before he could ask more, Ryan appeared with Emily at his side. Ryan grinned wide. Well, the big brother joins us. I was afraid you'd skip. Skip your big moment? I asked. Never. Emily's eyes flickered toward me, nervous, then away. Her hand clutched Ryan's arm as though anchoring herself. Ryan cleared his throat. Everyone, I have an announcement. Emily and I, we're engaged! The room filled with gasps and polite applause. My mother pressed her hand to her mouth, my father raised his glass, and Daniel, seated near the corner, looked at me sharply. Engaged, I repeated, stepping forward. That's wonderful, Ryan beamed. I knew you'd understand, Mike. She's special. She chose me after all. Of course she did, I said evenly. Congratulations, little brother. Emily shifted uncomfortably, her smile tight. And to mark the moment, I continued, sliding my hand into my pocket, let me add something meaningful. Ryan frowned. What are you? I pulled out the ring. The ring I once placed on Emily's hand with trembling joy. I held it up for everyone to see. This, I said softly, deserves to be where it belongs. Emily's face drained of color. Her lips parted, but no sound came. I stepped closer. Emily, may I? She froze. Her eyes begged me not to, but I gently took her hand. Slowly, deliberately, I slid the ring onto her finger, the same finger it had graced before. Gasps rippled around the table. My mother whispered, That's Michael's ring. My father's brow furrowed. Emily? Ryan laughed loudly, too loudly. So what? A ring is just a ring. She's mine now. It doesn't matter who gave it first. But his voice cracked on the last word, and I caught it. Everyone caught it. Emily stared at the ring, her hand trembling. She whispered, Michael, but stopped herself. Beautiful, isn't it? I said, my smile sharp. It suits her, doesn't it, Ryan? His grin wavered. You're making this weird, Mike. Weird. I tilted my head. I think it's poetic. Life coming full circle. Daniel coughed into his glass, hiding a smirk. My mother leaned forward, voice tight. Emily, why didn't you say... Emily's eyes brimmed with tears. Ryan cut in, snapping, because it doesn't matter. We're starting fresh. Michael knows that, don't you? I held his gaze. Of course. Fresh beginnings. With old memories still glittering on her hand. The silence that followed was suffocating. Forks lay untouched, glasses half raised. Everyone's eyes darted between us. Ryan tried to laugh again, but it came out strained. Stop dramatizing. Emily's mine. That's all that matters. Emily's voice trembled. Ryan, maybe... Don't! He hissed at her under his breath. I heard it. Everyone close enough did too. My father finally spoke. Ryan, this isn't a joke. You can't just recycle your brother's promises. Ryan's face reddened. It's just a ring. But it's not, my mother whispered, shaking her head. It carries meaning, history. You can't erase that. Emily looked down at the ring again, her hand shaking harder. I didn't think it would feel like this. I leaned back, folding my arms. Strange, isn't it? How something so small can carry so much weight. Ryan slammed his hand on the table. Enough, this is our night, not yours. You're not stealing it, I smirked. I don't need to steal anything, Ryan. You already stole what was mine. All I did was return the gift. The air was heavy, every eye locked on us. Ryan's confidence cracked in real time, his arrogance wilting beneath the weight of the truth unspoken but seen by all. Emily whispered again, staring at the ring. What have we done? And for the first time since it all began, I saw Ryan hesitate, saw the fear creep into his eyes as the room judged him in silence. It didn't take long. Whispers spread faster than fire. At first it was small, questions about the ring, about Emily's silence at the dinner table. Then Daniel spoke quietly to a few friends. Soon, the story reached ears I didn't expect. At a gathering a week later, Ryan tried to laugh it off. People exaggerate. Michael's just bitter, that's all. But Claire stepped forward, voice steady. Bitter? Is that what you called me too, Ryan? When you left me broken? The room fell quiet. Ryan's smirk froze. Claire, he said quickly, this isn't the place. No, she snapped. This is exactly the place. Everyone deserves to know who you really are. Gasps filled the air. Emily stiffened beside him, her eyes darting between us. Ryan tried to sneer. She's exaggerating. You know how exes are, Claire's voice cut sharper. You lied about me? You spread rumors until people wouldn't even look me in the eye. You moved on like I was trash. And now you've done the same to your own brother, Emily whispered. Ryan, is that true? Of course not. He reached for her hand, but she pulled back. Don't listen to her. She's just angry. Claire lifted her chin. No, Ryan, I'm finally free. Angry would be staying silent. Murmurs rippled around us. Someone muttered, I knew something felt off. Another whispered, so it's not just Michael. Ryan's face flushed. He turned on me. You planned this. You dragged her here to humiliate me. I kept my voice calm. I didn't force her to speak. She chose to. Just like you chose every lie. You ruined my life. He shouted. No, I said evenly. You did that yourself. Emily shook her head, her voice trembling. You told me Michael didn't care, that he neglected me. But if you lied about her, maybe you lied about that too. Ryan's jaw tightened. Emily, don't... She stepped back. Don't what? Don't see what's right in front of me? She looked at me, pain flickering in her eyes. I thought you were weak, Michael. But you were just honest. The word stung and soothed all at once. I didn't reply. Ryan's voice cracked. I gave you everything, Emily. No, she whispered. You took everything from both of us. The silence after her words was crushing. Ryan's shoulders sagged. His mask, the arrogance he wore like armor, began to crumble before everyone's eyes. He glared at me again, desperate. Are you happy now? You wanted revenge? You got it. I met his gaze without blinking. I didn't need revenge, Ryan. I just needed the truth to breathe. You suffocated it long enough. His mouth opened, but no words came. The room had already turned against him. Friends avoided his eyes, whispers cutting sharper than any blade. I stood steady, the broken man I had been nowhere to be found. All that remained was someone who finally saw Ryan clearly, not as a brother, not as a rival, but as the author of his own downfall. And as he stood there, trembling under the weight of his lies, I knew I didn't need to strike him. He was already destroying himself. I found Ryan in the kitchen the morning after Claire spoke up. He looked smaller, like his arrogance had leaked out overnight. He didn't meet my eyes. I can't believe you'd do that, he said finally. Why humiliate me like this? Humiliate you? I sat at the table. You humiliated yourself a long time ago. He swallowed. We can fix this. For Mom and Dad, for family. Fix this? I laughed, raw. How do you fix betrayal? How do you stitch trust with apologies? I'm your brother, he said. Doesn't that mean anything? It means we shared a childhood, I said. Not that you can do whatever you want without consequence. He sank into a chair. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to go so far. Emily told me you were distant. I thought I was helping. What she needed was honesty, not another lie, I replied. You knew what you were doing. Ryan's eyes filled. You don't have to destroy me. I beg you. We're brothers. Daniel, who had come earlier, sat opposite me. Mike, don't, I said sharply. This isn't about you telling me what to do. I'm not here to stop you feeling, Daniel said. I'm here to say acting on every impulse will make you lose yourself. Claire stood at the doorway, calm and steady. You asked for this, Ryan. You left wreckage behind for others to clean. He looked at her, pleading. Claire, please. I never meant you always meant, she cut in. That's the problem. Emily rushed in, voice breaking. Michael, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. Her words hit me like wind and fire. I wanted to list every wrong, to make them feel the hollow inside me, but I kept still. Do you regret it? I asked Emily, low. Every second, she cried. I wish I could take it back. And you, Ryan? Do you regret it? He swallowed. Yes, I do. Then why keep going? I demanded. Why lie to all of us? I was scared, he said simply. Scared of never being enough. The confession didn't fix anything, but it explained why he'd acted the way he did. Daniel leaned forward. Revenge won't fill that hole. It won't bring back lost nights or a future you imagined. It will only make another person smaller, Claire added. I wanted him to feel weight, but when I chased him for retribution, I handed him power over my life. Emily wiped her face. What do you want from me? She asked. I looked at them. I want peace, I said. Not the peace that comes from burying truth, but the kind where I can breathe without lies suffocating me. Ryan's face crumpled. I'll leave, if that's what it takes. Leaving isn't enough, Daniel said. He must face consequences and learn, but Michael, you decide what you need. Don't let them set the terms by making you hurt back. I thought of every night I replayed that scene. I thought of Claire in the cafe, Daniel's steady calls, my parents' faces. I imagined a life without that weight. Would revenge help? I asked myself quietly. I'd rather not be the man who ruins others to feel better, I answered aloud. I don't want to be defined by their mistakes. Ryan looked up, wary. So you forgive me? I don't know if I can forgive you, I said honestly. Forgiveness can take time, but I won't plant my flag on someone's ruin for comfort. Emily nodded through tears. I'll do whatever it takes to make amends. Claire crossed her arms. Make amends, yes, but set boundaries. Don't let apologies erase harm. Daniel gave a small smile. Freedom isn't forgetting. It's choosing not to be chained, something unclenched in my chest. I choose freedom, I said. For me, Ryan whispered. Bro, I held up a hand. You broke the trust, Ryan, that doesn't change. But I won't keep breaking in return. He left without looking back. I sank onto the couch, exhausted, and for the first time in weeks felt a small relief. The road ahead was long, but it was mine. I would rebuild slowly on my terms with careful steps. I sat at my desk, the ring lying in its small velvet box. The light caught its surface, glinting like it wanted to speak. For once I didn't feel rage. Just quiet. Daniel walked in, leaning on the doorframe. Still holding on to that thing? I nodded. One last time. You sure it doesn't keep you stuck? I traced the edge of the box. It used to. Now it reminds me I survived. Daniel stepped closer. So what happens to it? I smiled faintly. Back into the box. Not as a gift. As a lesson. He let out a breath. That's progress, Mike. Real progress. I never thought I'd reach this point, I admitted. I thought revenge would fix me. I thought seeing them crumble would heal me. And did it? He asked softly. I shook my head. No, it only showed me I didn't need them to define me. Daniel clapped my shoulder. That's what I wanted you to see. The door creaked and Claire stepped in. She looked different, lighter somehow. I came to say goodbye, she said. Goodbye? I asked. She nodded. I'm leaving town. I've got a new job offer and I don't want to stay in the shadow of Ryan anymore. You deserve that, I said. You deserve to be free. Her eyes flicked to the ring. You still have it? Yes, I said. But not for her. Not for you either. For me? Claire smiled faintly. That's good. Don't let it haunt you. Funny, I said. I thought it would always haunt me. Now it feels more like a scar I can live with. Claire stepped closer. When I first met you, I saw my own pain in your eyes. Now I see strength. That's why I wanted to come. To thank you, I blinked. Thank me? For what? For reminding me I wasn't alone, she said. For showing me we can heal without clinging to the people who broke us. I swallowed hard. You did the same for me, Claire. We stood in silence until Daniel said, so this is it. New chapter for all of us. Except Ryan, Claire murmured. I looked down at the ring. Ryan made his choices. Now he lives with them. As if summoned, Ryan's voice echoed from the hallway. Michael, please, just hear me out. Daniel tensed. Not again, but I held up a hand. Let him! Ryan stepped in, face pale, eyes bloodshot. I've lost everything. Emily barely speaks to me. Friends avoid me. Even Dad can't look at me. You got what you wanted. No, I said firmly. I never wanted you destroyed, Ryan. That was always your doing. His voice cracked. Then help me, please, we can rebuild. I already told you, I said quietly. Forgiveness isn't a gift you demand. It's something earned, and I don't owe you that. His hands trembled. So this is it? You walk away while I rot? Yes, I said, because I finally understand something. You're not my chain anymore. He shook his head, whispering, We're brothers. Brothers protect, I cut in. Brothers don't steal, lie, and leave scars. You made your choice. Emily appeared behind him, tears streaking her face. Michael, I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to say, I regret it every day I studied her. Then live with that regret, Emily. Let it teach you what loyalty means. She nodded, voice trembling. I will. Ryan looked between us, desperate.
So both of you are leaving me behind?
Claire's voice was steady. You left us first. Ryan's lips parted, but no words came. Finally, he turned and stumbled out, shoulders slumped. Emily followed, silent. The room felt strangely light after they were gone. Daniel let out a breath. That was the closure you needed, wasn't it? I looked at the ring again. Yes, more than I thought. Claire smiled softly. Then let it rest. I lifted the ring, turning it between my fingers. This isn't love anymore. It's a story. A reminder that trust is fragile and betrayal cuts deep. But scars can harden into strength, Daniel asked. So what does it mean to you now? I closed the box with a quiet snap. It means I learned. It means I won't chain myself to pain again. Claire stepped back, her voice warm. That's the best use for it, Daniel grinned. So what now? I felt my chest rise with a breath I hadn't taken in months. Now I walk forward. I start over. And this time I choose better. Claire's smile grew. Then I guess goodbye is the right word. Thank you, Michael, I nodded. Goodbye, Claire. Find your freedom. She left with quiet steps. Daniel lingered a little longer before heading out too, leaving me alone with the box. I placed it carefully in the drawer, shut it, and sat back. For once, the silence didn't crush me. It felt open, full of possibility. I whispered to the empty room. Not love. Not loss, just lessons. The weight on my chest was gone. The air was clearer. The world outside waited. I stood, stretched my shoulders, and smiled faintly. I wasn't broken anymore. I was stronger. I was free.